You see, Charlie Kirk was killed because of his politics and his leadership role on the right. When the left cannot win debates, they kill you, or they wage unremitting lawfare against you, as many of us know, or as we've seen since 2020, they steal elections.
Democrat officials never believed they could win this election honestly. I really believe that. That's why they did the mail-in ballots, where there's tremendous corruption and fraud going on. That's why they mailed out tens of millions of unsolicited ballots without any verification measures whatsoever. And I've told everybody that these things would happen.
Our next guest, Scott Aughney, is an election expert who has been monitoring the election system in the state of Michigan. He's found some startling irregularities, notably with the state's polling books and the ballots that were cast. Since 2020, Michigan has been at the epicenter of claims that the Democrats are stealing and rigging elections. Scott may have just found a smoking gun proving those claims true. Scott, thank you for joining us on this day.
Good afternoon, Emerald.
Look, if we're going to win this war, we have to fix our elections. You just heard what Michael Yon had to say about voting ourselves out of this. Not with this current system. So these elections are very important to keep voices out there telling the truth, to steer our country in the direction of family, faith, and freedom, which Charlie Kirk represented. Scott, tell us about what you've been working on and what you found.
Well, it's important to understand one key fact regarding elections, and it doesn't matter whether it's Michigan or any of the other 49 states. Elections are connected to everything. They're connected to your public officials. They are connected to ballot initiatives. They're connected to everything. That's why it is imperative that elections be honest and fair and transparent as much as possible and as much as the law affords. And I got involved investigating Michigan's elections in February 2021. And I got involved because I did have a data technology specific to analyzing data background. And I started out by doing what many people are doing now, FOIAing election data and examining it and ascertaining what may be accurate or what may not be accurate, and then basically creating a network to discuss what we may understand as irregularities or anything that may be in violation of the law. And my initial interaction with investigations is primarily with the electronic poll book. That is, in Michigan, there's a laptop computer that you sign in when you initially come in to vote at any polling station. And it contains particular election data. And typically what it is supposed to have is who is registered to vote in that particular precinct. And through time, the laws have been relaxed, the laws have been ignored, and the laws have been violated by many public officials, but specifically within the past few years, state level officials. And I have been very blessed to make connections to a couple women from Election Integrity Force, and have developed, worked in developing an excellent team of whistleblowers known as the Locust Standy whistleblowers. And we have basically invested probably 80 to 90% of our efforts into the electronic poll book. And in a nutshell, what we have discovered is an extensive amount of election data is being unlawfully altered and unlawfully destroyed. There is the manipulation of election records, which ultimately ends in the manipulation of election results. And while many people defer to what is known as the qualified voter file in Michigan, it is important to understand the data from the electronic poll book, because the electronic poll book contains the accurate voter registration, who's qualified to vote, but also the accurate voter ID, the accurate date time stamp, the log on when an individual has voted. And through time, we have discovered that these records are being unlawfully destroyed, and that is according to state and federal law, and they are being unlawfully altered.